He dropped to his knees on the wet pavement and everything inside me stopped. The most dangerous man in Seoul, the one who'd left me pregnant and alone, was folding his hands together in front of my 5-year-old son. Rain soaked through his $1,000 suit. "Please," Min-jae's voice cracked. "Let me explain." My hands shook as I pulled Hanul closer. "Get away from us. Mommy, why is that man crying?" Hanul whispered. I looked down. Tears mixed with rain on Min-jae's face. The same face that told me 6 years ago he never wanted to see me again. The same man who had his security throw me out of his office when I tried to tell him I was pregnant. "I didn't send you away," he choked out. "I've been looking for you for 6 years." Everything went silent. Even the rain seemed to stop. "What?" "My father intercepted everything. Your calls, your letters, the pregnancy test you left at my apartment." His voice broke completely. "I found the box yesterday, in his office safe, after his funeral." The world tilted. "You're lying." "I have your letters memorized, Ji-won. Every single one. Dear Min-jae, I'm scared. The test is positive. Please call me back." He looked up at me with devastated eyes. "I never got them. I swear on my life, I never knew about our son." I stumbled backward, nearly tripping over my own feet. Hanil grabbed my hand tighter. "Mommy, we need to go." My voice came out strangled. Min-jae rose slowly, hands still raised like I was a wild animal he might spook. "Ji-won, please. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." "You had 6 years of minutes." The words exploded out of me. 6 years while I worked 3 jobs and raised him alone. 6 years while I cried myself to sleep wondering what I did wrong. Parents picking up their kids started staring. I didn't care. Let them stare. Let them see Kang Min-jae, the untouchable Mafia boss getting destroyed outside an elementary school. "I know." His hands dropped. "I know I can't fix it, but I need you to know the truth." "The truth?" I laughed, and it sounded broken even to my ears. "The truth is you broke me. You told me I was everything, and then you threw me away like garbage." "I never said that." He took a step closer. "I never would have. Your security did it for you." I was shaking now, 6 years of pain flooding back. "They literally picked me up and carried me out while I screamed your name. You didn't even come to the door." His face went white. "I wasn't there. My father told me you'd left. He said you took money and signed an NDA. He showed me a fucking contract with your signature." "I never." The words caught in my throat. It was forged. Min-jae's jaw clenched. Everything was forged. He knew how to keep us apart. Hanul tugged my sleeve. "Mommy, I'm cold." I looked down at my beautiful boy, the boy with Min-jae's eyes and my smile, the boy who'd asked about his father every birthday, the boy I'd learned to lie to because the truth hurt too much. "We're leaving." I picked Hanul up. "Ji-won, stay away from us, Min-jae. I don't care what your father did. You're 6 years too late." I walked away. Didn't look back. Couldn't look back. But I heard him behind me, his voice wrecked. "I love you. I never stopped loving you." My vision blurred with tears, but I kept walking. 6 years ago, it started with a flat tire on the worst possible night. I stood in the rain outside the club where I waitressed, staring at my destroyed tire and trying not to cry. Rent was due in 3 days, and I'd already spent my entire paycheck on textbooks for university. "Need help?" I turned. A man stood under an umbrella, suit perfectly tailored, face unfairly handsome, but it was his eyes that caught me, dark and intense, like he could see straight through me. "I called a tow truck," I said. "They're 40 minutes out." He glanced at his watch, then at me. "You'll freeze by then." "I'll be fine." "You're shaking." He shrugged off his jacket and held it out. "Take it. I don't even know you." "Min-jae, Kang Min-jae." He smiled, and something in my chest fluttered. "And you are?" "Lee Ji-won." I took the jacket because I was freezing. It smelled like expensive cologne and something uniquely him. "Thank you." "Let me drive you home." "Absolutely not. You could be a serial killer." He laughed, a real laugh that made his whole face change. "Fair point. How about I wait with you until the tow truck comes? Keep you company?" I should have said no. Should have recognized the designer suit, the expensive watch, the way people walking past gave him a wide berth. Should have known someone like him was dangerous. Instead, I said, "Okay." We talked for 40 minutes in the rain. He held the umbrella over both of us while I shivered in his jacket. I told him about university, about my dreams of becoming a teacher. He told me about feeling trapped in a family business he never wanted. He didn't mention the business was organized crime. When the tow truck finally arrived, he wrote his number on my palm in permanent marker. "Call me," he said. "Let me take you to dinner, somewhere without rain." I called him the next day. That dinner turned into a month. A month turned into 3. 3 months turned into falling so deeply in love I couldn't remember what life felt like before him. He was gentle with me, patient, made me laugh when school stressed me out, held me when I cried about my parents' disappointment in my career choice, showed up at my apartment at midnight with food when he knew I'd been studying too hard to eat. "You're different," he told me one night, tracing patterns on my bare shoulder. We just made love for the first time, and I was still catching my breath. "Everyone else wants something from me. You just want me." "I do want you," I whispered. "All of you. You have me, Jiwon. I'm yours." The night before everything fell apart, he took me to the Han River. We sat on a bench overlooking the water, his arm around my shoulders. "I need to tell you something about my family," he started. "Whatever it is, we'll figure it out." He kissed my forehead. "I love you. Remember that, okay? No matter what happens, I love you. I love you too." The next day, I went to his apartment to surprise him with lunch. His father answered the door instead. "You're the girl," Chairman Kang said, looking me up and down like I was dirt on his shoe. "I'm here to see Minjai. My son isn't available, and he won't be. Not for you." "Excuse me?" He pulled out an envelope. 50 million won. Take it and disappear. Sign the NDA, and you'll never have to work another day in your life. I stared at him. "I don't want your money." "Everyone wants money, Miss Lee. Don't insult my intelligence." "I want Minjai." His expression turned cold. "My son has responsibilities. A girl like you, poor, uneducated, common. You're a distraction he can't afford. Take the money or I'll make your life very difficult." "No." I pushed past him into the apartment. "Minjay! Minjay!" Security appeared from nowhere. Hands grabbed my arms. "Minjay!" I screamed as they dragged me toward the door. "Minjay, please!" He never came. They threw me out of the building, literally threw me onto the sidewalk. I sat there for 3 hours waiting for him to come down, to explain, to fix it. He never did. I called 50 times. Every call went to voicemail. I went back the next day. The security wouldn't let me in the building. I wrote letters, left them with the doorman. Nothing. 2 weeks later, I took a pregnancy test in a gas station bathroom and watched 2 lines appear. I tried one more time. Went to his office building, made it past the lobby, all the way to his floor. Security found me before I reached his office. "Please," I begged. "I just need to tell him something. It's important." They escorted me out. I left the pregnancy test with the receptionist, along with a letter. "Dear Minjai, I'm pregnant. Please call me. I don't know what I did wrong, but we need to talk, please." He never called. Present day. "Mommy, you're squeezing too tight," Hanul said. I loosened my grip on his hand, realizing we'd walked 3 blocks past our bus stop. "Sorry, baby." "Who was that man?" "No one." "But he was crying, and he knew your name." "It's complicated." "Is he my—" "No." The lie tasted bitter. "He's no one important." We rode the bus home in silence. I stared out the window, seeing nothing, feeling everything. 6 years. 6 years of believing he'd abandoned us. 6 years of hating him. I never got them. I swear on my life, I never knew about our son. Could it be true? Could his father really have orchestrated everything? My phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Please read this. It's the only thing I ask. Then I'll leave you alone if that's what you want." MJA file downloaded. I opened it with shaking hands. Photos. Dozens of them. Letters in my handwriting. Letters I'd written 6 years ago. The pregnancy test I'd left at his office, preserved in a plastic bag. A forged contract with my signature, dated the day after his father threw me out. Bank statements showing $50 million won deposited and withdrawn from an account I'd never opened. And a video file. I waited until Hanul was asleep to watch it. Put in earbuds, sat on my bathroom floor, and pressed play. The video showed Chairman Kang's office. Date stamp. Yesterday. Min-jae stood over a safe, papers spread across the desk. "What the FCK is this?" His voice was shaking. "What the FCK is all of this?" His hand appeared on camera, holding one of my letters. He read it out loud, voice breaking with every word. "Dear Min-jae, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Your father offered me money to disappear, but I don't want money. I want you. I want us. Please call me back, please. I love you." He picked up another letter, then another, then the pregnancy test. "Oh, God." He collapsed into a chair. "Oh, God, Ji-won." The video showed him sitting there for 20 minutes, reading every letter, looking at every document, watching him piece together what his father had done. Then he looked directly at the security camera. "Father, if you're watching this from hell, I hope you burn for eternity. You took everything from me. Everything!" He swept the desk clear with one violent motion. Papers flew everywhere. He punched the wall hard enough to leave a dent, then fell to his knees. "Ji-won," he whispered. "I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry." The video ended. I sat on my bathroom floor and cried for the first time in 6 years. Really cried. Not the silent tears I'd learned to hide from Hanul, but ugly body-shaking sobs that hurt my chest. He didn't know. He really didn't know. The next morning, I called my best friend. "He's telling the truth," I said without preamble. Sua sucked in a breath. "You're sure?" His father kept everything. The letters, the test, all of it. Sua, he didn't abandon us. He never knew. Holy shit. A pause. "So what are you going to do?" "I don't know. I don't know anything anymore." "Do you still love him?" The question hit me like a punch. That's not fair. That's not an answer. I looked at Hanil's bedroom door. He broke my heart, Sua. Even if he didn't mean to, even if it wasn't his fault, I can't just forget 6 years of pain. I'm not saying you should, but Ji-won, that man fell to his knees in the rain outside a school, in front of dozens of people, for you. I know. And Hanul deserves to know his father. I know. I pressed my palm against my forehead. I know, okay? I just need time to process this. I didn't get time. That afternoon, I arrived at work, a small accounting firm where I'd finally found stable employment, to find flowers on my desk. Black roses. Dozens of them. The card read, "I'm sorry isn't enough, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make this right." MJ. My coworker Minji whistled. "Someone's got an admirer. Black roses? That's dramatic." "It's complicated." The flowers kept coming. Every day for a week. Different flowers, same message. "I'm sorry, I love you. Please give me a chance." I didn't respond. On Friday, Hanul's school called. "Miss Lee, there's been an incident." My heart stopped. "Is Hanul okay?" "He's fine." But a man showed up claiming to be his father. He tried to speak with Hanul during recess. We stopped him. But I was out the door before she finished talking. I found Min-jae in the principal's office, looking miserable. Hanul sat across the hall with a teacher, completely oblivious to the drama. "What the hell are you doing?" I hissed. Min-jae stood immediately. "I wasn't trying to scare him. I just wanted to see him from a distance." "You can't just show up at his school." "I know. I'm sorry. He ran a hand through his hair. "Ji-won, that's my son. I've missed 6 years of his life. 6 years of birthdays and first days of school and bedtime stories. I just wanted to see him smile." The pain in his voice made my chest ache. "You should have asked me first." "Would you have said yes?" "I don't know." We stared at each other. The principal cleared her throat. "Miss Lee, Mr. Kang, perhaps you should continue this conversation elsewhere." We ended up at a coffee shop 2 blocks away, sat across from each other in a corner booth, cups of coffee neither of us touched. His name is Hanul, I said finally. It means sky. I named him that because the day I found out I was pregnant, the sky was the most beautiful blue I'd ever seen. It felt like a sign that everything would be okay. Min-jae's eyes were glassy. Does he know about me? He knows his father isn't in the picture. That's all. Does he hate me? He's 5, Min-jae. He doesn't understand hate yet. He just asks questions I can't answer. I wrapped my hands around my mug. Why did my daddy leave? Doesn't he love me? Is it my fault? Fuck. Min-jae's voice broke. It's not his fault. God, it's not his fault. It's mine. All of this is my fault. It's your father's fault. I should have fought harder. Should have found you. Should have questioned everything when you suddenly disappeared. He looked at me with devastating honesty. I failed you. I failed both of you. You didn't know. I should have known. You loved me, Ji-won. You wouldn't have just left. I should have trusted that. He slammed his fist on the table. Coffee sloshed over the rim of his cup. Instead, I believed my father's lies. Let him convince me you'd taken money and run. I was a coward. You were being manipulated by someone you trusted. That's not an excuse. We sat in silence. Around us, the coffee shop bustled with afternoon customers, but we might as well have been alone. I don't know how to do this, I admitted. I don't know how to let you back in. Then let me earn it. He leaned forward. Let me prove I'm not going anywhere this time. Let me be a father to Hanul. Let me be... He stopped. Let me be whatever you'll allow. It's not that simple. I know, but Ji-won, I've spent 6 years feeling like something was missing from my life. I dated other women, tried to move on. Nothing worked because you were always there in the back of my mind. The girl who disappeared, the one I couldn't forget. His hand moved across the table, stopping just short of mine. And now I know why. You weren't supposed to disappear. We weren't supposed to end. My phone buzzed. Sua's name flashed on the screen. Emergency. Come to Cafe Luna now, please. I frowned. I have to go. Is everything okay? I don't know. My friend, I'll drive you. Min-jae, please, let me help. 5 minutes later, we pulled up to Cafe Luna in Min-jae's sleek black car. I spotted Sua through the window, sitting with a man I didn't recognize. She looked upset. We rushed inside. Sua, what's wrong? She looked up, eyes red. Ji-won, I'm sorry to bother you, but I didn't know who else to call. This man... She gestured to the guy across from her. He won't leave me alone. The man stood, and I immediately understood why Sua was scared. He was huge, arms covered in tattoos, with a scar running down his cheek. We're just talking, he said with a creepy smile. She asked you to leave, I said, stepping forward. This doesn't concern you, sweetheart. Min-jae moved so fast I barely saw it. 1 second he was behind me. The next he had the man by the throat, slammed against the wall. The lady asked you to leave, Min-jae said, voice deadly calm. So you're going to apologize, walk out of this cafe and never bother her again, understand? The man's eyes went wide with recognition. Mr. Kang, I didn't know. I don't care what you didn't know. Apologize. I'm sorry. Min-jae released him. The man practically ran out of the cafe. Are you okay? Min-jae asked Sua, voice gentle now. She nodded, staring at him like he'd sprouted wings. Thank you. It's nothing. He glanced at me. Ji-won's friends are important to me. Later, after we'd made sure Sua was okay, and Min-jae had insisted on having security escort her home, we stood outside the cafe. Thank you, I said, for helping her. You don't need to thank me. Yes, I do. You didn't have to do that. Ji-won, I would do anything for you, for the people you love. He took a breath. I know you need time. I'm not asking you to forgive me overnight, but please give me a chance. Let me meet Hanul properly. Let me try to be a father. I thought about Hanul asking about his daddy, about the longing in his voice every time he saw other kids with their fathers. Okay, I whispered. Okay? You can meet him. But Minjae, if you hurt him, I won't. I swear on my life I won't. If you disappear, if you decide this is too hard, if you break his heart, I will never forgive you. I understand. Do you? Because Hanul is everything to me. He's the reason I survived the last 6 years. He's my whole world. He's my son, Jiwon. I want to be his whole world too. 2 weeks later, Minjae met Hanul at a park on a sunny Saturday afternoon. I'd spent the entire week preparing my son. There's someone I want you to meet, I'd told him the night before. Who? Someone important. Someone who's been looking for us for a long time. Now I watched as Minjae approached, carrying a soccer ball and wearing jeans and a t-shirt instead of his usual suit. He looked nervous, more nervous than I'd ever seen him. Hanul, I said gently, this is Minjae. Hi, Hanul waved, completely at ease. Hey, buddy. Minjae's voice was thick. Your mom said you like soccer. I love soccer. Are you going to play with us? If that's okay with you? Yes. I sat on a bench and watched them play. Minjae was gentle with Hanul, teaching him new moves, letting him score goals. They laughed together and the sound made my chest tight. After an hour, Hanul ran over to me, breathless. Mommy, Minjae is so cool. He knows all the soccer players. That's great, baby. Can he come play again? I looked at Minjae, who stood a few feet away, hope written all over his face. Yeah, I said, he can come again. Over the next few weeks, Minjae became a fixture in our lives. He picked Hanul up from school sometimes, always asking my permission first, took us to dinner, came to Hanul's soccer games and cheered so loudly the other parents stared, and slowly, painfully, I felt the walls around my heart start to crack. You're softening, Sua observed one night. We were at her apartment drinking wine while Hanul had a sleepover at Minjae's place, the first overnight visit I'd agreed to. I'm not. You are. You look at him differently now. Sua, it's okay to still love him, Jiwon. After everything, it's okay. I don't know if I love him or hate him. Sometimes I feel both at the same time. That's normal. He hurt you, even if he didn't mean to. That kind of pain doesn't just disappear. My phone rang. Minjae's name flashed on the screen. Everything okay? I answered. Everything's great. Hanul just fell asleep. We watched a movie, had popcorn, built a blanket fort. His voice cracked. He's perfect, Jiwon. Thank you for letting me have this. He's your son. Yeah, he is. A pause. I read him a bedtime story. Did you know he's reading above grade level? He's so smart. Gets that from you. He has your stubbornness. Minjae laughed softly. Fair. Jiwon? Yeah? I know I say this too much, but I love you. I never stopped. And I know you can't say it back right now, maybe not ever, but I needed you to know. My heart clenched. Minjae, you don't have to respond. I just wanted to tell you. Sleep well. He hung up before I could reply. You still love him, Sua said knowingly. Shut up. But she was right. God help me. She was right. The complication. Things were almost good for a while, almost normal. Then Minjae's world came crashing into ours. It happened on a Wednesday night. Minjae was supposed to pick up Hanul from my apartment for their weekly dinner, but he didn't show up, didn't call, didn't answer my texts. By 8 p.m., I was worried. By 9 p.m., I was panicking. At 10 p.m., there was a knock on my door. I opened it to find a man in a suit, not Minjae. Miss Lee, I'm Jae Sung, Mr. Kang's head of security. I need you to come with me. What happened? Where's Minjae? He's been injured. He's asking for you. The world tilted. Injured how? There was an incident, a rival organization. He's at a private hospital. Please, Miss Lee, he won't let the doctors treat him until he sees you. I woke up Sua to watch Hanul and followed Jae Sung to a car. 20 minutes later, we arrived at an unmarked building in Gangnam. The hospital was really a private clinic. Guards stood at every entrance. I was escorted to a room on the 3rd floor. Minjae sat on an exam table, shirt off, blood soaking through a bandage on his shoulder. The moment he saw me, his entire body relaxed. Jiwon? What the hell happened? I rushed to his side. Business dispute, it's handled. You've been shot. Stabbed, actually. It's not deep. Not deep? I turned to the doctor hovering nearby. Help him. He wouldn't let me, the doctor said helplessly. He said he needed to see you first. I looked at Minjai, who gazed at me with those intense eyes. I needed to know you'd come, he said simply. Needed to know you cared enough. Of course I'd come, you idiot. Now let the doctor fix you before you bleed to death. He smiled, actually smiled, and let the doctor start working. I stayed by his side the entire time, holding his hand while they stitched him up. He didn't even flinch, just kept his eyes on me. What happened? I asked when the doctor finally left. A competitor thought he could move in on my territory. He was wrong. Minjai, this is your life. Violence and danger, and I know what you're thinking. That this is no life for Hanul. That you can't let him be part of this world. Can you blame me? No. He sat up, wincing. After my father died, I've been working to transition the business, moving away from the illegal operations, investing in legitimate companies. It's taking time, but I'm trying to build something different, something I won't be ashamed to pass down to my son. How long will that take? A year, maybe 2, but Jiwan, I promise you, I will make this world safe for Hanul, for you. And in the meantime, what if next time it's worse? What if you don't come home? Then I'll have died fighting for a better future for my family. That's not reassuring. I know. He reached for my hand, but I'm not going anywhere. I have too much to live for now. I looked at our joined hands, felt the warmth of his skin, the calluses on his palm, remembered what it felt like to be held by him. I was terrified, I admitted. When they said you were hurt, I couldn't breathe. I thought... My voice broke. I thought I'd lost you again. You didn't. You won't. You can't promise that. Watch me. He pulled me closer, and I let him. Let myself lean against his good shoulder and breathe him in. Let myself feel the terror that had gripped me at the thought of him dying. I can't lose you again, I whispered. I can't. You won't. Minjai, Jiwan, look at me. I lifted my head. His eyes were fierce, determined. I love you. I have loved you for 6 years, even when I thought you were gone. I will love you for the rest of my life, and I am not going to die and leave you and Hanul alone. I'm going to be here every single day, proving that I deserve another chance. I'm scared. I know. I'm scared too. Scared you'll never forgive me. Scared I'll mess this up. Scared I'm not good enough to be Hanul's father. His thumb brushed across my knuckles. But I'm more scared of losing you than anything else, so I'm gonna fight for you, for Hanul, for us. I kissed him. I didn't plan it. Didn't think about it. Just leaned forward and pressed my lips to his. He froze for half a second, then kissed me back with 6 years of longing. His good arm came around my waist, pulling me closer. I tangled my fingers in his hair, careful of his injury, and let myself drown in him. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. Does this mean... he started. I don't know what it means, but Minjai, I'm tired of fighting this. I'm tired of pretending I don't still love you. You love me? I never stopped. Even when I hated you, even when I wanted to forget you, I loved you. Tears spilled down my cheeks. And it's terrifying because you have the power to destroy me all over again. I won't. I swear to God, Jiwan, I won't. You can't promise that either. Then let me prove it. Every single day, let me show you that I'm not going anywhere. I kissed him again, softer this time. A promise of my own. Meanwhile, across town, Sua was having her own complicated night. After I'd left, she'd settled Hanul in my guest room and was watching TV when there was another knock on the door. She opened it to find Jay Singh, Minjai's security chief, who'd picked me up earlier. Miss Sua, he said, looking uncomfortable, I wanted to check that everything was okay here. We're fine. Hanul's asleep. Good. That's good. He shifted his weight. I also wanted to apologize. for my behavior at the cafe that day. I was doing my job, keeping an eye on Mr. Kang, but I should have intervened sooner when that man was bothering you. Sua blinked. You were there? I'm always there. Mr. Kang's security detail extends to Miss Ji-won and her close friends. You've been following us. Protecting you. There's a difference. That's creepy. It's necessary. Mr. Kang has enemies and they'd hurt anyone connected to him. Sua crossed her arms. So what, you've been watching me for weeks? Yes. And you didn't think that was weird? I think it's my job. They stared at each other. Then Sua laughed. She couldn't help it. This is insane. You're insane. Jae-sung's lips twitched, almost a smile. I've been called worse. I bet you have. She leaned against the doorframe. So what else do you know about me, Mr. Bodyguard? I know you take your coffee black, that you volunteer at an animal shelter every Sunday, that you have a master's degree in psychology but work as a barista because you hate corporate culture, that you're fiercely loyal to your friends, and you have a good right hook. How do you know about my right hook? I watched you deck a guy who grabbed your ass at a club last month. Sua felt her face heat. You saw that? I saw that. It was impressive. Well, she didn't know what to say. This is the weirdest conversation I've ever had. Would it be weirder if I asked you to dinner? Are you asking me as my stalker or as a person? As a person who thinks you're beautiful and interesting and way out of his league. Sua's heart did a stupid little flip. You're right. I am out of your league. Does that mean no? That means, ask me again when you're not on duty and I'll think about it. Jae-sung smiled, a real smile this time. I'll take those odds. The next few weeks were a strange kind of wonderful. Min-jae recovered from his injury and we fell into a routine. He'd come over for dinner, help Hanul with homework, read him bedtime stories. Some nights he'd stay late after Hanul fell asleep and we'd talk for hours about the past, the present, what we wanted for the future. He didn't push for more, though I could see the longing in his eyes every time he left. I'll wait as long as you need, he told me. A year, 10 years, forever. I'll wait. But the world has a way of forcing decisions. It happened at Hanul's school talent show. Min-jae and I sat together in the audience, watching our son perform a taekwondo routine. He was confident, focused, amazing. He's incredible, Min-jae whispered. He gets that from you, I said, the confidence. He gets everything good from you. After the show, we took Hanul out for ice cream. We were laughing, celebrating, being a family. Then a car swerved toward us on the sidewalk. Everything happened so fast, Min-jae shoved both Hanul and me out of the way, taking the impact himself. The car clipped his hip, sending him spinning. He hit the ground hard. Min-jae, I screamed. Hanul was crying. People were shouting. Someone called an ambulance. I crawled to Min-jae's side, blood pooled beneath him. Stay with me, I begged. Please, Min-jae, stay with me. His eyes fluttered open. Hanul? He's fine. You saved him. You saved both of us. Good. He tried to smile. That's good. Don't you dare die on me. Don't you dare. Not planning to. He coughed and blood flecked his lips. Still have to marry you? What? Marry me, Ji-won. His hand found mine. Marry me. Let me be your husband, Hanul's father. Let me have forever. Tears streamed down my face. You're proposing while bleeding out on a sidewalk? Romantic, right? You're an idiot. Is that a yes? The ambulance arrived. Paramedics swarmed around us, trying to pull me away. Ji-won, Min-jae gasped. Answer. Yes, I sobbed. Yes, you idiot. Now don't die. They loaded him into the ambulance. I rode with him, holding his hand, while Sua, who'd rushed to the scene, took Hanul. At the hospital, I paced the waiting room for 3 hours. Jae-sung arrived with a team of specialists. Sua brought Hanul, who clung to me, asking over and over if Min-jae would be okay. He'll be okay, I promised. He has to be. Finally, a doctor emerged. He's stable. Broken hip, internal bleeding, concussion. But he'll recover fully. I almost collapsed with relief. They let me see him an hour later. He was pale but awake, hooked up to machines that beeped steadily. "Hey," he rasped. "Hey yourself." I took his hand. "That was the worst proposal in history." "But you said yes." "I said yes." So it was the best proposal in history. I laughed through my tears. "How do you figure?" "Because it worked. You almost died. But I didn't, and now you're going to marry me. You're impossible. You love me anyway." "I do." I leaned down and kissed his forehead. "I love you so much, it terrifies me." "Good. Be terrified with me. We'll figure it out together." The door opened. A nurse stepped in with Hanul, who looked small and scared. "Someone wants to see you," she said gently. "Hanul." Min-jae's voice was soft. "Come here, buddy." Hanul approached slowly. "Are you okay?" "I'm okay. A little banged up, but okay." "The car almost hit us." "I know, but it didn't because we're a team. We protect each other." Hanul looked at me, then at Min-jae. "Mommy says you're important." "She did?" "Uh-huh. She says you're very important to us." He paused. "Are you my daddy?" Everything went still. I held my breath. Min-jae's eyes filled with tears. "Would you like me to be?" "Yes." Hanil's face lit up. "I always wanted a daddy. Jimmy's daddy plays soccer with him, and Maya's daddy takes her to the park, and I wanted—" His little voice broke. "I wanted a daddy, too. Come here." Min-jae opened his good arm. Hanil climbed onto the hospital bed carefully, curling against his father's side. "I'm sorry I wasn't there before, but I'm here now and I'm never leaving, okay? I'm your daddy and I love you so much." "I love you too, Daddy." I pressed my hand to my mouth, trying not to sob out loud. This was everything I'd wanted 6 years ago, everything I'd thought we'd lost. Min-jae met my eyes over Hanil's head, mouthed, "Thank you." I mouthed back, "I love you." 3 months later, the wedding was small, just close friends and family in Min-jae's penthouse, overlooking the city. I wore a simple white dress. Hanil wore a tiny suit and carried the rings. Sua stood beside me as my maid of honor, while Jae-seung, who'd been officially dating Sua for 2 months now, stood beside Min-jae. "Who would have thought?" Sua whispered before the ceremony started. "6 months ago, you could barely look at him. Now you're marrying him." Life is weird. Life is good. She was right. It was good. Min-jae stood at the altar, still recovering but standing strong. When I walked toward him, his eyes filled with tears. "You're beautiful," he whispered when I reached him. "You're biased." "Completely." The officiant began speaking, but I barely heard it. I was too focused on Min-jae's face, on the love there, the promise. "I, Min-jae, take you, Ji-won, to be my wife, to love and cherish through everything, to be faithful, to be present, to be the man you and Hanil deserve. For the rest of my life, I'm yours." My turn. "I, Ji-won, take you, Min-jae, to be my husband, to trust again, to love again, to build a future together. You hurt me, but you healed me. You left, but you came back, and I choose to believe in us. For the rest of my life, I'm yours." "You may kiss the bride." Min-jae pulled me close and kissed me, like it was our first kiss and our last kiss all at once, like a promise, a vow, a prayer. Hanil cheered. "Mommy and Daddy are married." Later at dinner, surrounded by the people we loved, Min-jae stood to make a toast. 6 years ago, I lost everything without knowing it. My father's cruelty took the woman I loved and the son I never knew I had. But Ji-won is stronger than my father ever was. She survived. She raised our incredible son alone. She built a life from nothing. He looked at me. I don't deserve her, but I'm going to spend every day trying to. To Ji-won, everyone echoed, raising their glasses. To new beginnings, Min-jae added, eyes locked on mine. To new beginnings, I whispered back. That night, after Hanul fell asleep in his new bedroom in our new home, a beautiful house Min-jae had bought for us, safer than his penthouse, perfect for a family, Min-jae and I stood on the balcony. Happy? he asked, arms around me from behind. Terrified. Good terrified or bad terrified? Good terrified. The kind that comes from finally having everything I want. I turned in his arms. What if something happens? What if we mess this up? Then we'll fix it. Together. He kissed my forehead. Jiwon, we've survived 6 years apart. Manipulation, violence, and you saying yes to the world's worst proposal. We can survive anything. The proposal wasn't that bad. I proposed while bleeding out. It was very you. He laughed, and the sound made me smile. This was my life now. This man, this child, this love we'd fought so hard for. I'm glad you found the letters, I said quietly. I'm glad you didn't give up. I'll never give up on us. Not again. Promise? Promise. We stood there in the night air, holding each other, and for the first time in 6 years, I felt complete. Across town, Sua and Jae-sung sat in a late-night cafe. So, Sua said, stirring her coffee, my stalker boyfriend. How does that look on a dating profile? But former stalker. I'm off duty now. Are you, though, or are you just pretending so I'll let my guard down? Would it work if I was? Depends. Are you going to keep being mysteriously attractive and protective? Probably. Then yes, it would work. Jae-sung smiled and reached across the table for her hand. For the record, I'm done watching from the shadows. I want to be in your life. For real. Good, because I want you there too. They kissed across the table, and Sua thought maybe her best friend wasn't the only one getting a happy ending. 6 months later, I walked into the kitchen to find Min-jae making breakfast while Hanul sat at the table doing homework. Daddy, can you help me with this math problem? Sure, buddy, let's see. Min-jae leaned over, reading the question. Okay, so if you have 3 apples and... I'm pregnant, I blurted out. They both froze. Min-jae turned slowly. What? I'm pregnant, 10 weeks. He crossed the kitchen in 3 strides, lifting me off my feet. You're pregnant. Yes. We're having a baby. Yes. He spun me around, laughing, then stopped. Wait, should I be spinning you? Is that safe? I'm fine. Are you sure? Do you need to sit down? Water? Should we call a doctor? Min-jae, breathe. Hanul tugged on Min-jae's shirt. I'm going to be a big brother? You're going to be a big brother? Cool, Hanul grinned. Can we name it Dragon? We're not naming the baby Dragon, I said, laughing. Why not? Dragons are cool. Min-jae knelt beside Hanul. How about we think of some other options together? Okay, but can Dragon be on the list? Dragon can be on the list. That night, after Hanul went to bed, Min-jae and I lay together in our bedroom. I can't believe we're doing this again, he said, hand on my still flat stomach. But this time, I get to be here, for all of it. Every doctor's appointment, every midnight craving, every moment. Every moment, he agreed. I'm not missing anything. We're going to be okay, right? All of us? We're going to be better than okay. We're going to be everything. He kissed me softly. I love you, Jiwon. I love you too. Outside, the Seoul skyline glittered with lights. Inside, we held each other close, a family built from broken pieces, put back together with love and second chances. Sometimes the universe breaks you apart just to put you back together stronger. Sometimes the person who hurt you is the person who heals you. Sometimes love means fighting through the pain and choosing each other anyway. This was that story, and it was just the beginning.